exciting. This is very exciting. 15 days to go. 15 days to go. We know there's just so much at stake right now. This truly is one of the most important elections of our lifetime. It truly is. This is an inflection moment in the history of our country. This is a moment in time that is requiring each of us, and collectively as a country, to look in a mirror and ask a question. And that question is, who are we? And I believe that part of the answer to that question is, we are better than this. We are better than this. That is requiring us to fight for the best of who we are. And the stakes are high. I don't have to tell you what's happening here in Iowa, where they're privatizing Medicare, where we know that just in a very short period of time, people's premiums are going to go up at least threefold. We are better than this. And as far as I'm concerned, if we have leaders who want to vote to take away our health care, we need to vote them out of office. Because it's about what is fundamentally right. It is about what is fundamentally right in making sure that everyone has the ability to live a life with dignity. Everyone having the ability to have equal access to what should be fundamental rights, like the right to health care. So there is so much at stake right now. So much at stake. There are a lot of people in our country who rightly are feeling an incredible amount of distrust. Distrust in their government and its institutions and its leaders. And we need to deal with that. And part of dealing with that is appreciating the nature of a relationship of trust. Because the nature of a relationship of trust is that it's a reciprocal relationship. You give and you receive trust. And one of the most important ingredients in trust is truth. There's a funny thing about truth. Speaking truth can often make people quite uncomfortable. People may walk away from that conversation saying, you know, I didn't particularly like what I had to hear. But they will also walk away from that conversation knowing it was an honest conversation. So we need to speak truth. So you all are now looking at me, okay, Kamala, what you got in mind? Okay, well, let's speak some truth, uncomfortable though they may be. If Charlottesville didn't make it clear, racism is real in this country. Anti-Semitism, homophobia, sexism are real in this country. Let's deal with those truths. Speak them so we can deal with them. Let's speak truth. Let's speak truth. People are going around touting, oh, the economy is great, everything is great, it's all wonderful and great. Yeah, and so what are the metrics of that analysis of greatness on the economy? Well, they point to the stock market. Yeah, that's fine if you own stocks. That's fine if you own stocks. Then they talk about, oh, no, the economy is great, look at the unemployment numbers. Well, yeah, let's look behind that. The fact is, yeah, people may be working, and they're working 2 and 3 jobs to pay the bills. This economy is not working for everybody. Let's speak truth. Let's speak truth that wages have remained flat while the cost of living steadily increases, the cost of housing and gas and tuition. I don't need to tell the students here. The economy ain't working for everybody. And then they propose and pass a so-called tax cut. And the people who benefit from that are corporations in the top 1%. Let's take a look at what they've been peddling. So this supposed tax cut, permanent for corporations, temporary for working families. This supposed tax cut benefits the top 1% with over $50,000 a year, instead of giving that money to working families. In fact, what I'm proposing is we need to have a better vision for this country, and in particular reform this tax code in a way that supports the people who work to make this country great. Let's talk about health care. The leading cause of American families going bankrupt is a health bill they can't afford to pay. So let's look at what we're doing and talk about the economy in a way that it works for working people. Let's speak the truth about what they've been peddling versus what we need as a country. In this moment in time, where we have so many powerful voices that are trying to sow hate and division among us, let's speak the truth that for the vast majority of us as Americans, we have so much more in common than what separates us. Let's speak that truth. The vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. So let's own that. And let's also recognize that when we are critical of what is not working in our country, we're going to reject this notion that that might invite a question about one's love of country. Because it's an interesting thing. Sometimes when we're critical about what's not working in our country, some would suggest that invites a question about one's love of country. I reject that. Because I believe there are two definitions of what it means to be a patriot. One, the definition that suggests you condone the conduct of your country, whatever it does. And then the other, being the kind of patriot I believe most of us to be. The kind that will fight each and every day for the ideals of our country. And that is what is at stake. Fight that is born out of love of country. Yeah. This is a fight that is born out of knowing who we really are. It is about believing in who we are and who we can be moving forward. This is a fight born out of knowing that when we look at the students here, we see our future, and our future is bright because they are willing to stand up, they are willing to organize, they are willing to talk about what it means to be proud of who we are and who we can be. That's what this fight is about. And so, my final point then is this. Recognizing that, and recognizing we're at an inflection moment, let's also recognize this moment at some point will pass. We will get beyond this. I promise you. We will get beyond this. And years from now, our children, our grandchildren, others, they're going to look at us, each one of us, they're going to look in our eyes and they're going to ask, so where were you at that inflection moment? And part of our answer will be, well, we were all here together. And our answer will also not be limited to just how we felt. Our answer is going to be about what we did. What we did to get out and vote. What we did to take people to the polls. What we did to knock on doors. What we did to see everybody we know and annoy the heck out of them and tell them you've got to vote. It's okay. They'll be annoyed with us. Some of us, they'll get over it. They'll come back, I promise. But this is a pivotal moment. And we've got 15 days to get this done. And here's the thing also, I just want to, as a specific point about voting. So, the history of our country, we are not proud of all aspects of the history of our country. And so one aspect that is a particular point among many is the fact that there were years where certain folks couldn't vote, in particular African Americans and women, right? And so because of that, so many of us, we take it very seriously, voting, and we almost have ceremonies about voting on election day because people fought and died for our right to vote. And so we go and we bring our children and we take selfies as we're voting. Well, I just want to remind folks of something. You can honor the ancestors by voting early. And the bottom line is this. there is so much to feel good about. There is so much to feel good about. There is incredible energy out there. You see it in the candidates before you. You see it in the students who are here. You see it when you look into your heart, when you know why you all are here right now, this afternoon. It's because we believe in our country and the best of who we are. And so this is that moment in time to get out there and fight for it. And I thank you very much. Thank you.